such little to worry about, like you were talking about, just spreading out all the materials, all their loot to make sure that they had everything that they needed.
And it's just so smart because that was actually a team right there. That was game 3. They had no eliminations going into moving zones. Like, that's how much surge they got from the position. It was really, really good for them. And I love the fact that they had that experience from that duo Cash Cup and they applied it to this FNCS game.
Honestly, it kind of reminded me like I was watching FNCS Trios again, where you have that support role, and that's kind of what he played, and he did it perfectly. I'm sure we're going to be seeing some other teams adapting to that as well. But let's move on to another team that was able to utilize height as in the early game.
Yeah, Nevify and Crisp. The reason why I wanted to kind of break down them, because on these changes, you would think a lot of our veteran teams would be the ones in. They got their first FNCS final ticket punched in because of their strategy. You see them looting up towards Daily Bugle. I know you don't see the time here. This is about 2 minutes into the game. Once they reach about 3-4 minutes, you see Nevify go over to the side of Daily Bugle and immediately take the high ground, much like Paper and Lost Dash, but they don't have the zone. They know timing is of the essence, and that's why you see Crisp looting up the outsides. But because the high ground, Nevify not only putting shots onto the people directly in towards Daily Bugle, all those players that are landing towards the outskirts are also feeling that pain. But around that 5-minute mark, they immediately go ahead and beeline it towards the backside. As they saw everybody rotate in towards zone, they know only 1, maybe 2 teams are going to be outside towards here to kind of contest that refresh of the minis at the very least. And I only mention the minis because, like you can see on this map over towards the Daily Bugle where they actually landed in it, we all know there's a ton of loot for grabs there, but they didn't want to put it all into this one positioning. So as soon as they got that surge, they immediately got things like I'm talking about and their brick to kind of get themselves at this time in the game. They have almost everything that they need. I say almost because they still lack in the metal, where they go ahead and rotate back on over to see them scrounge up some slurp or some chug splashes as well. They traded one big pot for that, which made it easy for them to get in toward the edge of zone. At this stage in the game, they got so much surge piled up from those early game tags. It wasn't until about the 4th, 5th zone they really had to break, but I think there were about 525 without an elimination of this.
Yeah, and we love the integration that we saw out of these teams yesterday, but there's layers to this team, right? They know that they are at a split job, so it's like, how can we get more loot? So they rotate out and, you know, use that vending machine, as you mentioned, which is really, really smart. But then to be able to do that, they know that they have to get those early tags, and you could see that at one point right there, he was just fully exposed to Tabg and fully willing to kind of trade some of that damage back and forth, expand some of his shields that he had looted because he knew he was going to make himself a position over at the vending machine. And it's really only possible to do that, make that late rotation if you do get those early tags. So really well thought out strategy from that team.
Yeah, and that strategy probably is coming from the IGL, an incredible role. But what about the most important role in the game, everyone? Here we have it, role models.
My role as a player is the in-game leader. I decide how my team plays and the plays that we make.
You'll, for the most part, tarp too, like endgame. So you're kind of just doing all like the thinking while your teammate gets to this, like trying to eliminate anything, get you refreshes and stuff, so you don't run out of mats.
I think a player that is trying to become a good IGL for their team definitely needs to become assertive, needs to be able to make decisions quickly and not, second guess themselves. Even if it's the wrong decision, it can still be a better decision than just making nothing and having your team split up. If you make a call and your whole team goes to one spot, then you have a better chance of surviving than saying nothing and having all 3 of your team or all of your other 2 team members splitting up in different directions and being eliminated by some others.